Hello everybody and welcome to Lucas Oil Raceway for the running of the Kroger 400 here under the lights just west of Indy here in Brownsburg, Indiana. For the drivers who are out of today's race, and again they will be in the Discord and will be in the Discord going forward in the Kroger National Series under that category and in the chat room in that one. And guys are out. 13 Rex Wilkes. This is his third race in a row, and again we have another third race, dude. And I feel bad for them, but sadly this hasn't been turning out for them. The 81 of Dave James, the 17 of Reese Cameron, 24 Stephen Paulo III, which is his second race in a row. So he's hoping to get back on track, and this is multiple drivers who have been missing races throughout the season so far, all through the season. So hopefully something can change going into the second part of the season, because we're already at race 10 of the season, so we're only about 18 races from the playoffs, right? No, it's not. It's 16 races to the playoffs. So race 27 I think is the first race of the playoffs. So we're getting close to that time period where this is your last chance. So, and it's their last chance. So but coming into the day, Arthur Xavier has a 26-point lead over Scott Upton, and then in third in the points, Brett Kleppinger. He is actually 46 points out. So Arthur Xavier, he can just coast right now if he wanted to, and he still be on top of the standings after this race. So, but keep in mind, if you win the race, you're gonna end up getting like 42 points. So Scott Upton won this race, and if Arthur Xavier finished like last place or something, that means he'd probably be first place in the points. So keep that in mind. It could change like an instant. So just in an instant. So we're just gonna show you the starting lineup over here. We're gonna get the command to start the engines here from Lucas Oil Raceway.
Drivers, start your engines!
On the pole today is Michael Meadows, starting second Brian James, starting third Will Parrish, starting fourth Karen James, starting fifth RJ Harper, starting sixth Mohammed Zain Abdullah, starting seventh Samet Ozkan, starting eighth Colby Harris, starting ninth Casey Horton, and starting in 10th is Jacob Dillons. It's nice seeing Samet Ozkan qualify in 7th place. So hopefully the worst is past that team, and hopefully they can get back on track here and try their best to get as close to the playoffs as they can, because I think they're just too far out at this point. He's actually in. We're gonna get the green flag here real quick. Yeah, he's in 40th position, 85 points, and we are green here from Lucas Oil Raceway. He is 182 points out, so it's a long way out. We're green here for the Kroger 400 here. It's the name series race here, so it's gonna mean a little bit more for these drivers. Of course, this is replacing the Brickyard 400 that will not be run in this series. Probably at any point. I don't see myself wanting to run that race. I just don't find interest in doing that. And we have a yellow flag here. And oh, our points leader, Arthur Xavier, with major damage, and it looks like Ian Brennan as well, Dylan Ibrahimian, Jeff Cameron, and Alex Diaz. Another bad week for Alex Diaz, and hopefully don't have anything happen here, but see if they're gonna pit real quick. Different pit strategy maybe. We'll see here in a second. I don't think they're gonna pit though. They won't. So we'll be right back here to see what happened in that accident. Welcome back here from Lucas Oil Raceway, and it happened off of turn 2 here. I think Kai Rivera came down in the 3. The 3 goes into the grass, hits the inside wall, or almost hits it, tries to save it, and is in the grass. He has nowhere. He cannot stop the car. Tries to turn as much as he can. He runs right into Samoa's Khan, runs into the Alex Diaz, and gets some air time. So that probably ends their day there, obviously. We're going to get another view of this here. So that was a rough hit, right? A rough ride for Ian Brennan. See if we can get an onboard with Ben Crouch here. Oh, he almost hit him. That was so close. What a save by Ben Crouch, and we'll be right back here for the green here from Lucas Oil Raceway. We're back here from Lucas Oil Raceway, and we're going to give you your top 10 here, running order. First, Michael Meadows. Second, Brian James. Third, Karen James. Fourth, Mohamed Zainadullah. Fifth, Will Parrish. Sixth, Colby Harris. Seventh, RJ Harper. Eighth, Jacob Dillons. Ninth, Trevor Collins. And then rounding off the top 10 right now, going into this restart here, this Mo's gone. Out of the race is Ian Brennan. The rest of them are going to be in the race still. Obviously, they're probably going to be off pace because of damage. We got to keep that in mind. This track is really hard to get around lap traffic. Traffic. There it is. Oh my goodness. All right, we got to stop. We're green here again from Lucas Oil Raceway. And Michael Meadows is going to get a pretty good margin lead here. Oh, it looked like Brian James hit the wall. Obviously, this track hasn't been ran by Cup before. Sadly, I don't know why they never ran here. I mean, went to the Brickyard, but this track was here well before Brickyard. I'm just surprised they never came here in the Cup. But hopefully in the future, they will get rid of the Brickyard and we can have a race here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Because Cup doesn't belong at the Brickyard. And I think we all know that as NASCAR fans. But getting off topic here, we're going to keep it to this series and not talk about NASCAR. But looks like Karen James is rolling in Michael Meadows here. And we may have a battle for the lead here not too long from now. It looks like she's catching him in turn 1 and 2 here. At least the last few laps. What's it look like? He may have just hit the wall there. And Robert Pollard's on the pit road. I don't know if they had an issue or is it scheduled. He is a lap down, so maybe different pit strategy we're seeing here. You're gonna go multiple laps down if you pit though here under green flag run, more than likely, with how small this track is. This track's about the size of Bristol, and it just doesn't have the banked corners like Bristol does. So I didn't mention in the beginning of the race we're doing 75 laps here, so it's a pretty long race when it comes to laps wise, but we'll see how long that ends up being. Of course, this race means a little bit more, and future seasons may be a double point race. Just heads up, this track may end up being a double point race. So, in the future, so keep that in mind. Obviously, we don't have double points this season. Keeping this classic, but we're mainly keeping this classic, but we are doing some. We're still doing the playoffs, so keeping it simple, and we're doing the playoff format still. So Michael Meadows going to retain the lead there from Karen James. This track is really hard to pass on the inside. It's easier on the outside. It looks like we're going to have a green flag run here. Pretty long one here. Obviously, it won't be as this track. I'm pretty sure this race already has made this race a lot better than that last race at Richmond. I apologize again on that race. I'm gonna try to make the race a little bit better in the playoffs. Obviously, the second last race of the season is at Richmond. I don't know why I picked Richmond to go there, but I don't know. I just wasn't thinking very straight, I guess, when I made the schedule, but we're gonna stick to it. Karen James getting a little aggressive here with Michael Meadows. She just can't get around him. Obviously, she's the faster car. I believe both of them are still looking for their first win of the season. Can't guarantee that 100%. Yes, they both are looking for their first win of the season still, so we'll see if they can do that today or not. Obviously, at this point, it looks like they have the chance to doing that today. Ryan James is in third. We're gonna check through the pack here. We got Samoz Khan. He's currently in 8th position, so he's looking. This is obviously a better run for this team. This is what they need to get back on track, clear their minds, and try to get their season into the point where they are contending, maybe not for the playoffs, but for some desperate needed points to make their season look a little bit better, and obviously wins. Obviously, and we got Chase Harris there. I'm just gonna go through the pack here. 2 of Will Parrish is on the pit road. I don't know that's scheduled. I'm guessing it's scheduled pit stops. So we may see some pit stops here, and some of the damaged cars are actually on pace here, which is interesting. They should have to pit twice here. They should. I'm not going to guarantee they're going to pit twice, though, because this is NR, and NR does NR things, so And again, to this week, I don't know why I just did that. Sorry about that. Again, this race, Chevys are dominating much of the top 10 here. So, again, it's looking like the Chevys are the stronger manufacturer right now, obviously. And maybe just because the tracks that we're doing right now, we haven't been doing many, well, we haven't been doing the mile and a half. So that's just coming up soon here. Next race, we're going to be doing a couple mile and a halves. Well, minus Michigan. I know that next race is Chicagoland. Then we go to Michigan. The race after that, I think, and don't quote me on that, I think it's, 1 second. Well, we go to New Hampshire, so that's a mile track. And then Watkins Glen, and then Darlington. So, and then we hit Darlington, Charlotte, and Homestead. And then we go to Daytona, Bristol. I think it may not be the correct, this may be the other schedule I was going to go with the original season that I canceled, but I apologize. That is a good look at what was coming up, though. I'm pretty sure that's pretty accurate. I didn't change much of this schedule. It's just the playoffs part I changed significantly, because I wanted to put another road course in there with the Charlotte Roval. I didn't want to have one road course in the playoffs. But Michael Meadows is continuing to lead here. Karen James is in second still. And I don't know when we're going to see pit stops. Obviously, we've seen some cars on the pit road. I don't know why. Maybe they had a loose wheel. Maybe they had cut it on another car, maybe with contact. That's the only thing I can think is really contact with another car and it took a tire down. Or they had a vibration, maybe. That's the only thing I could think why the two of Will Parrish was on the pit road that early. But I imagine pit stops are going to happen here soon, because this track wears tires a lot, because you're taking these corners at a real fast pace with little banking. So, and imagine tires are starting to get a little bit old here. So, and it's still Karen James is all over that bumper of Michael Meadows. She's obviously the stronger car right now. And throughout this run, and I think there's a couple cars on the pit road, and yes there is. So pit stops are going to happen here soon here. So we may make it to the end at this point on one stop. And they will pit. And it looks like Mohammed Zainadul is going to pit as well, and that he would not be our leader. And it looks like Kai Rivera, maybe. I don't know about that, actually. It would be Cameron Parker. He's got a lot of damage on that right side of his car. Must hit the wall. But I'm surprised that's not affecting him right now. He's gonna stay out here. I don't know if he may have pitted during that caution possibly, but I think that damage is slowing him down. and he will pit. So that will allow, I think he's a lap down actually. So see if Michael Meadows will be our new leader here. And I'm not sure. I think he will be our new leader. I think he is our new leader. So I think he retained the lead here. And make sure here. No. Yeah, our new leader is Chris Splitzer. So Chris Splitzer to the lead. And obviously, I think he pitted earlier in the race, so he's on a different strategy than the rest of the field here. But he is super slow, and obviously those new fresh tires are much better right now on that 62 than the one with the older tires. So it's just a matter of time that Chris Splitzer gives up the lead here to Michael Meadows. And here comes Michael Meadows for the lead. And he will retain the lead from Chris Splitzer. Brian James up here as well. I'm surprised that we have not had another caution. This is a pretty tough track to keep the car from coming from under you, so from these drivers. So it's a really hard track for these drivers to run on because of how the banking's not very it's not very high, so it's harder for these drivers to get around this track. I don't know. It looks like Karen James is not as fast on this run as she was last run. So whatever they did to that car, obviously, or what they did to Michael Meadows' car, has obviously changed significantly since the last before the pit stops. So pit stops, sorry. And Michael Meadows, he definitely wants to win today's race. Obviously, he was leading most of the race at Rockingham, and he lost it right at the end. So he's hoping to finish a race out here and win today on another short track. Getting his first win of his career and first win of the season. And that would really help him in the points. He's only 54 points out. He's in 6th in the points, and he's getting really close to that wall. Almost hitting that wall. That'd have been bad for this team. That would have definitely they would have definitely given up the lead if he did that. So he's gonna get up against the wall again here. He's gonna have to slow up. I don't know. Karen James is not able to close the gap, it looks like, though. He figured it out that time, and it's back to the middle groove. Check out the rest of the field here. It's pretty clean here. Let's check out the battle between Ben Crouch and 42 about Arthur Xavier, our point leader. This is going to be I think let's see. Arthur Xavier is currently in 25th, so he's on the lead lap still. He hit the wall there. More damage to that car. And we got Tim Horton back here. This is obviously a disappointing race so far for him. He was definitely looking forward to contending for this win today because of the Kroger affiliation. So, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen today. And Kai Rivera coming off the pit road. I think he's on a completely different strategy than the rest of this field. He is 2 laps down, so on the 95, Cole Miller hit the wall there. But obviously, Michael Meadows is the strongest car right now on this track. I don't know, I don't know. Karen James and him may be about the same, but he's leading this race. That's all that matters. Since it's hard to pass here, like I mentioned before, it's going to make it difficult for Karen James, if she's able to make a move on him to get around him and take the lead. But we'll see. Maybe his lap traffic may help her out here, but it doesn't look like she's taking advantage of it. And Jeff Cameron just needs to get out of the way. He obviously has a damaged car and is off pace. And that was slow up Michael Meadows there. He didn't want to wreck the car, and now allowed Karen James to get right up on his bumper there. And Karen James tried a little bit too hard around that corner, it looked like. That's going to hurt her a little bit here. Oh, Karen James sliding up the track. She barely kept the car off the wall. Oh, here comes Karen James on the outside. Will she be able to keep it? Going around turn 3 and 4 here. Michael Meadows slides up the track. Karen James is going to be on the outside still, and Michael Meadows has to check up. And here goes Karen James to the lead. This is exactly what Michael Meadows was fearing, and now Karen James is in front. This is going to be tough for him to get around her, obviously, with her car being stronger on the first run. Maybe she was just waiting. And Jeff Cameron's still in the way of these leaders. And here comes Michael Meadows. 10 to go for Karen James. She needs to get around Jeff Cameron. Somehow, some way. find a way around him. And that didn't work out. Now Michael Meadows on the outside line. Karen James runs him up the track. Here comes Chris Splitzer. I think he's a lap down, so he doesn't. I don't think. Yeah, he's a lap down, so he doesn't mean anything really. But he may affect the outcome of this race, just like Jeff Cameron already has. Michael Meadows is right on her bumper. Karen James is hoping to finish this race as the winner, and this would help her save her season. She's obviously towards the bottom of the point. She's currently in, 1 second, I can check it real quick. She's currently in 35th position, so she's hoping to get her season back on track with 5 to go here for Karen James. At this point, a caution would end the race. Well, oh, Karen James has to check up. Will that? Oh, the 1 is in the way for the Michael Meadows. And again, Jeff Cameron blocks Karen James. And Jeff Cameron may be sent to the hauler after this race to get talked to. Because he's obviously being a nuisance out here, blocking the leaders. Now, obviously, these leaders are going to remember this for next time, and they may give payback to him at some point. He goes to the pit road, so he's out of the way, but now Chris Splitzer is in the way. 2 laps to go for Karen James. Will Michael Meadows have anything for her? Huge checkup there from Karen James. 1 lap to go for Karen James. Will she win today's race? Out of turn 3 and 4, Karen James wins the Kroger 400 here from Lucas Oil Raceway. Congrats to that 70 team. Congrats to ML Racing, RCR ML Racing. Obviously, ML being supported by RCR. Their engines are RCR engines, but congrats to them. And congrats to Karen James for winning today's race. That's obviously going to help her in the points because she desperately needs them. And a good run by her. By Brian James as well. That's what he's looking for as well, and that's gonna keep his season on a roll right now. He's on a roll. He may be the hottest driver in the series right now, Brian James. So thanks for watching today, guys. We will be back next week. We'll have we'll have 4 races next week as well. Keep that in mind. But the following week will be a 3-race week, and then the following week after that will be a 4-week again. And I think at that point we should be able to get it done in time. We may have to do another 4-race week. I'll let you know when that that's the case, I will be having, well, I already uploaded but check out the update video that I uploaded today. It's going to talk about the future and what's going to be happening on this channel. And yeah, check that out. That should have been up at noon, but I don't know when it was uploaded. So, but here's your final results, and we'll see you guys at Chicagoland, and that will be on Monday. Until then, we'll see you guys on Monday.